Stephanie Yang with Bella TV, and I'm here today with Patricia Velásquez. How are you doing today?
Hey, Stephanie. Thank you so much for having me on. Thank you. I love Bella.
Thank you so much for your time. You're an actress and best known for your role in The Mummy, and you're also an award-winning activist, model, and more. Last time you spoke with Bella, you talked about your career and the Wayuu Taya Foundation that you created. Can you talk a little bit about your foundation and how it's going?
Well, thank you so much. Wayuu Taya, it's a small organization that we started many years in New York to help the Latin American indigenous communities. We started with a little school for 30 children. And just this last year, we took care of more than 100 and almost 130,000 people are being benefited from the foundation. It's mainly we focus all of our efforts between the border of Venezuela and Colombia. There is a big humanitarian crisis happening in Venezuela now. We are a country, I'm Venezuelan myself, so we are a country of 30 million people. And by the end of this year, more than 7 million people will have left the country, making this the biggest humanitarian crisis in the Western Hemisphere, really. We when we started with the schools, they grew to hundreds and then thousands. But given the situation, we have mainly focused on sending right now food, medicine, supplies, and really just giving them an opportunity to stay alive.
I just want to take it back, like from the beginning. What inspired you initially to start this foundation?
Well, you see, I guess from my career as a model, I wasn't an actress then when I started the foundation. I didn't understand how important was my role within the modeling on the fashion industry until one time I was stopped on 16th Street and 8th Avenue in New York. This girl just threw herself at me and started crying and said, "You changed my life. And now I feel like I'm worth something because I see you in the covers of magazines, and it's okay to look Latin, to look well. Not that we all Latins look the same, but to look like you and I look." So at that point, something just hit me. Something just said, "Oh my gosh, this is much bigger than just me trying to help my family," which is what I was trying to do then. This is so that just planted the seed of wanting to do more for the world. And then a few years later, my uncle passed away, and he is Wayuu Indian, just like myself, and we are an indigenous community right on the border between Venezuela and Colombia. So right before he passed, because he was really like the dad to my mom. He was the older brother, so he said, "Do not forget about the Wayuu people." And that's how we started. We found out through UNICEF, this was in 2002, that one kid was dying a day, making it the poorest place in Latin America. And that's why we decided. I remember I went to Katie Ford, and she gave me my first check. And with that, we were able to build a water pump in a village, and then 2,800 people have water. And we decided to do an event. I went to Iman. Oh, so many people helped. It was a big success. So we put a little preschool for 28 kids, and that's how it all started.
That's a truly inspiring story. I believe representation is extremely important. I've actually been to Malawi, Africa, and I
Mhm.
worked with the World Food Program there. So I'm a little bit familiar with what your foundation is doing and can tell from firsthand experience. It's really devastating, seeing these kids and making sure they have food and the resources that they need. So thank you for your foundation. I think it's such a beautiful thing that you're doing to give back to the community. And also, on top of that, it's been such a rough year for the pandemic. With the pandemic, how is your foundation helping those during these difficult times?
Wow. Well, two things I wanted to say about what you just said. So the first thing is, we help these communities because, well, in my case, because I come from there, but we do because we think it's going to help them. But what happens in the process, Stephanie, as you're saying, you were working in Malawi. What happens is you end up being the one that's rescued in a way. The retribution, the joy that you feel when you see how a tiny little contribution can help so much and bring hope to other people and keep them alive, you are the one that ends up being transformed and changed in your life. And now, in terms of the pandemic, it's been challenging. It's been challenging, but I do have to say that I am extremely proud of the team. We lost one of our members, our doctor, due to COVID. But it has made the team just go out and, we have this program that we're feeding right now, almost 30,000 kids. We bring through World Central Kitchen, Chef Jose Andres, and then Acceso, which is Frank Justra. We bring food through the border, and this started just for a little community, and now every week is almost 30,000 kids that are eating. So in a lot of this food that comes from this program called Acceso, it's food that has been farmed by Venezuelan refugees. And it has maybe traveled sometimes 1,000 kilometers by the time it gets to the Venezuelan side. So what a incredible cycle. So many times we were not able to bring it, but we're bringing it as much as we can. And in terms of, we were helped by Center for Disaster and Philanthropy, and we're able to get a grant. So one of the biggest problems in our countries right now, and especially when this whole thing started, was the not having any access to PPEs, no protection, no sanitizers. Clean the World Foundation sent us over 120,000 bars of soaps. And then from Center Disaster and Philanthropy, we were able to get all these PPE to 5,000 medical personnel. And, it really, it has been such an incredible journey trying to get things, because then sometimes we don't have gasoline. And that's one of the hardest things, is to move around the country. Not only you're in lockdown, but yet there's also no gasoline. But I have to tell you, we do what we can, and this is what's so amazing about living in being a part of the United States. Doesn't matter what people say about the US, really. The sense of community and helping others in this country is the biggest in the world. And we have received help, and that's how we can continue to move forward.
I'm truly sorry for your loss. I'm sure it was devastating, and it's been such a crazy time for everyone. I'm so glad to hear, that you seem so passionate about this foundation to give back to other people. You're thinking about other people outside of the US. I'm sure Venezuela is a beautiful country, and, I'm sure they're very fortunate to have a foundation like yours. I just want to talk about a little bit more about your foundation, how incredible it is. You have a program called the One for One program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, we can talk about it. We're doing it, but not so much anymore, because we sent so many masks already. So this was a program, and thank you for bringing it up. But this was a program that for every item you buy basically for every item you buy in our website, in our store, a mask is going to be given to a child in need. So we started this, and you guys helped us so much. We've sent thousands and thousands of masks. I don't have the exact number, but thousands of masks have been sent already to the children and to the adults as well. And because it expanded so much, it was so successful that we then actually send N95 masks to to the doctors, medical personnel, people working in the hospitals. I mean, really, really remarkable. There's so many programs that we are doing now that you raise up this subject. We are working on trying to make the foundation sustainable. And because the truth is, Stephanie, at some point, when you have countries that are, and I'm sure you know because of your own experience, when you have countries that are going through a big humanitarian crisis, people come and help. And what Wayuu Taya has become a conduit. We are the place where people come, and if you want to help Venezuela, you go into Wayuu Taya Foundation, you obtain your tax deduction, and you know that the work is being done. Accountability is the number one thing for us, right? So, but we know that at some point, the help will probably end. So what do we need to do is to make it sustainable. In everything that we are receiving now, we are trying to put it into this program that we call the Apoona Project. Apoona in the Wayuu dialect means it's the Path Project. So it's like a little, imagine a mini world where the only condition to get to this mini world and to go inside is that it has to be sustainable. So that's a component, right? So we already have the farm, the land. Through Center for Disaster and Philanthropy, we were able to get the wells. So now we are in the process of getting a bigger motor for one of the wells. We already got that. And now we have to do the whole electricity through solar panels for the whole area, right? So that's already done. We got that. So now the next step is 2 water trucks. So everything that goes on right now into donations, obviously not all of it, but most of it goes to buy these water trucks. And the idea is for every water truck that goes and sells the water in the city, because we are about an hour away from the city in the Wayuu community, a water truck is giving free water to the community. The big problem in this area is water. That's the big problem. So for every water, load that we give, that we sell, and water load that is giving away to the community. The community is already receiving water, but not by truck because we don't have a truck yet. So that's where we are right now. And then after that, the farming, which already kind of started, but now that the electricity is being fixed, the farming then can really start. And we are doing that with Acceso. So we already identified what are the products that have to be sold, and then we can really truly create the full sustainability with the water and the farming. And then the next step, which if we continue to grow, it will be a vocational school in a little hotel. So people like, if you're watching, you can go visit when hopefully this craziness happens, or if it's a college or students or whoever wants to come and visit this model, that it is totally replicable. And that's part of what we were talking today. There was a wonderful documentary named Free Color made by director Alberto Arvelo. I'm a very big fan of Beto and his wife Gabriela Camejo. They have worked for years into this documentary about Cruz Diez, who's, kinetic visual artist, probably the most important artist that has Venezuela ever produced, and definitely in the world of art. I mean, you have his pieces all over the world. Cruz Diez, is a symbol for Venezuela, and now they decided to do the soundtrack. So all the proceeds of the soundtrack will go to the foundation and will go to this program. And we have wonderful people like Gustavo Dudamel. I'm sure the director of the LA Philharmonic, and Sebastián Arvelo, Nascui Linares, Álvaro Paiva, Nela Rojas, Cruz Diez's daughter. Nela Rojas is a singer. Fabi Cruz is the daughter of Cruz Diez. So the result is, it was already #1 in the charts on Apple Music. And hopefully this, not only is an incredible piece, but it's also going to benefit all this program that we're trying to just, because this is such a simple thing to do, that we are going to be able not only to just do it in the Wayuu village, but start growing it, and then eventually can be put all over the world.
Everything sounds so incredible. I actually listened to the soundtrack and I want to talk a little bit
Good.
about it. It's absolutely beautiful. I think everything you're doing, like I said before, is amazing. And it has such a deeper meaning. People don't really see that firsthand or like talk about it. So thank you so much again for bringing this to light. Most importantly, how can people get involved with your foundation?
Thank you, Stephanie. We have gone through a really difficult situation. We still are in most of the world through COVID. And I know this is going to be seen all over the world. Sometimes we think, of course, money helps. Obviously, you have a foundation, you need money to operate, to buy the food, the medicines, everything that we send. But sometimes, if you want to donate with money, great. You can go into wayutaya.org or and just donate $1. The thing in Venezuela is $1 for us is worth just the same as 1,000, just the same as 10,000, because everything makes such a difference. Now, if you go, well, maybe I can't donate $1, but it turns out I'm a writer, or I'm great at digital, or I'm a designer. Reach out to us because we need your help. And I'm telling you, the most important thing is going to change your life, because once you see the results and once you see how your work is affecting the life of so many others, your own life will be transformed.
Thank you so much again for your time. We'll be sure to spread the word. I hope to speak with you again soon. I will definitely be following your journey. Best of luck with everything. And I can't thank you enough for everything you've done today and took the time to speak with us. Your foundation is truly inspiring. So thank you so much
Thank you
again.
so much. Thank you,
Thank you.
Stephanie.
I hope
So
to speak
great.
with you again soon. Thank
For
you.
sure. Okay.